Thomas Jefferson, the third president of the United States, is a figure eternally linked with the nation's founding principles. Yet, his intellectual curiosity extended far beyond the borders of the newly formed nation. In 1765, a young Jefferson purchased a copy of the Qur'an, embarking on a lifelong exploration of Islamic thought and its implications for governance. This acquisition was not merely an act of scholarly pursuit, it reflected a deeper desire to understand the diverse tapestry of human belief and its potential influence on the shaping of a new nation. Jefferson's interest in Islam was not an isolated incident. His personal library, a testament to his insatiable thirst for knowledge, housed numerous volumes on Middle Eastern languages, history, and culture. He meticulously studied Islamic legal traditions, comparing them to English common law, and exploring their potential relevance to the burgeoning American legal system. These intellectual endeavors reveal a man deeply engaged with the world beyond his own, seeking wisdom from a variety of sources. Jefferson's fascination with Islam was shared by other founding fathers, albeit to varying degrees. The Enlightenment, a period of unprecedented intellectual ferment, had ignited a renewed interest in Eastern philosophies and religions among European thinkers. This intellectual current crossed the Atlantic, influencing the founders as they grappled with the monumental task of creating a new form of government. The principles of religious tolerance and the separation of church and state, concepts central to Islamic governance, resonated deeply with these men as they sought to establish a nation free from the religious conflicts that had plagued Europe for centuries. Jefferson's engagement with Islam transcended the realm of academic inquiry. It extended to the realm of international diplomacy. As the first Secretary of State under President George Washington, Jefferson played a pivotal role in shaping the nascent nation's foreign policy, including its relations with Muslim-majority nations. One such interaction, the Treaty of Tripoli, signed in 1797, would have a lasting impact on the understanding of religious freedom in the United States. The Treaty of Tripoli, negotiated during a period of conflict with the Barbary states of North Africa, aimed to secure safe passage for American ships in the Mediterranean Sea. However, the treaty's significance extends far beyond its immediate geopolitical context. Article 11 of the treaty explicitly states, "As the government of the United States of America is not in any sense founded on the Christian religion," this declaration, unprecedented in its time, served as a powerful testament to the founders' commitment to religious neutrality in the fledgling nation. The inclusion of Article 11 in the Treaty of Tripoli was not merely a diplomatic maneuver, it reflected a fundamental principle upon which the United States was founded, the separation of church and state. While the founders came from diverse religious backgrounds, they shared a common belief in the importance of religious freedom and the dangers of a state-sponsored religion. The Treaty of Tripoli, with its explicit rejection of a Christian foundation for the United States, served as a powerful symbol of this commitment. It sent a clear message to the world that the United States was a nation open to people of all faiths, a beacon of religious liberty in an era of religious persecution. The founders' embrace of religious freedom was deeply influenced by the intellectual currents of the Enlightenment, a period of profound philosophical and scientific inquiry that swept through Europe in the 17th and 18th centuries. One of the most influential figures of this era was John Locke, an English philosopher whose writings on natural rights, liberty, and religious tolerance had a profound impact on the founders. Locke's, published in 1689, argued for the separation of church and state, and the right of individuals to freely choose their religious beliefs. Locke maintained that governments should not interfere in matters of faith, as religious belief was a personal matter between an individual and their creator. He argued that forcing individuals to adhere to a particular religion was not only morally wrong but also counterproductive, as it often led to hypocrisy and social unrest. Locke's ideas resonated deeply with the founders, many of whom were products of religious persecution themselves. They had witnessed firsthand the dangers of religious intolerance and the social divisions it could create. Inspired by Locke's vision of a society where individuals were free to worship according to their conscience, the founders enshrined the principle of religious freedom in the First Amendment to the United States Constitution. This amendment, which guarantees the free exercise of religion and prohibits the government from establishing a state religion, stands as a testament to Locke's enduring legacy and the transformative power of Enlightenment ideals. Thomas Jefferson, one of America's most influential founding fathers, held a deep admiration for certain Islamic principles. He was particularly inspired by the emphasis on justice, charity, and the pursuit of knowledge found within Islamic teachings. Jefferson believed that these principles could serve as a moral compass for individuals and societies alike. Yet he was also a fierce critic of religious dogma, no matter the faith. Jefferson argued that blind adherence to dogmatic beliefs could stifle intellectual growth and personal freedom. He often emphasized the importance of reason and critical thinking over rigid orthodoxy. In his view, true religion should enlighten the mind and elevate the spirit, rather than constrain them. This perspective was instrumental in shaping his vision for a society that valued both religious freedom and intellectual liberty. So, in essence, Jefferson saw in Islam not just a set of religious doctrines, but a source of ethical guidance that could enrich the moral fabric of the new nation. His balanced admiration for Islamic principles and his critique of religious dogma reveal a nuanced understanding of faith's role in public and private life. Thomas Jefferson, one of America's founding fathers, was deeply influenced by a wide array of historical sources, including Islamic history. Jefferson's vision of a clear separation between church and state was, in part, informed by his understanding of the Ottoman Empire's approach to religious pluralism. He believed that a government should not impose a single religion on its people, but rather allow for a diversity of beliefs to coexist peacefully. This idea was revolutionary at the time and laid the groundwork for the First Amendment of the United States Constitution. The founding ideals of liberty and justice for all were, unfortunately, marred by the harsh reality of slavery. Many of the same men who championed freedom and equality were themselves slave owners. This paradox has sparked much debate and reflection over the years. It's important to recognize that while the founders set forth principles of universal human rights, they also lived in a time when slavery was a deeply entrenched institution. Reconciling these conflicting aspects of their legacy remains a complex and ongoing challenge. Religious freedom has always been a cornerstone of American society. The founders recognized that for a democracy to thrive, individuals must be free to practice their faith without government interference. This principle has allowed for a rich tapestry of religious diversity to flourish in the United States. From the early days of the Republic to the present, the commitment to religious freedom has been a defining feature of the American experience, ensuring that people of all faiths can live together in harmony. The founding principles of the United States were shaped by a multitude of influences, weaving together ideas from various cultures and philosophies. Understanding this tapestry of influences helps us appreciate the complexity and depth of America's founding ideals. From the Enlightenment thinkers to the wisdom found in Islamic history, the founders drew upon a rich array of sources to craft a nation built on the principles of liberty, equality, and justice. This nuanced understanding allows us to see the broader context in which these ideals were formed and continue to evolve.